is the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS show with Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What's going on, everybody? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome to the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show. We are here for Friday's 7-game main slate over on DraftKings, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. San Antonio, Charlotte, Philadelphia, Orlando. Finishing out the night, we got a 10:30 match between the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers. James and buddy, how we doing?
Doing well, solid slate on Thursday, ready to turn the page TGIF to Friday here.
Yeah, for sure. This 7-game slate's pretty interesting. We have the San Antonio Spurs here, but no Victor Wembanyama. Not going to play the front leg of their back-to-back here on Friday. We also could see the debut of Pascal Siakam for the Indiana Pacers. Reports are that he is expected to make his debut here for Indiana, but we do not know whether Tyrese Halliburton will be playing against Portland in this game or not. He was not in for their team's Thursday matchup on the front leg of their back-to-back. They could have been saving him for the second leg here to team up with Siakam. So certainly some big news there. We also kind of have some soft pricing once again on this slate. So we'll go through it all position by position as we usually do, highlight the top matchups, top games, top spreads, and totals there as well. Any initial thoughts here before we dive in, James?
Happy Joel Embiid slate. I don't know,
that certainly counts. JoJo here against the Orlando Magic, 7 p.m. starts. So let's just get it kicking. Looking at the top price plays overall, Embiid is 11.5, Joker 11.3, Anthony Davis 10.2. Your three guys up over 10K on this main slate. Taking a look at the point guard position again, we could have Halliburton bet at $9,900 if he's in. Would be a fantastic spot for him against the Portland Trailblazers here if he was to be ruled in on this one. Trae Young is questionable for this slate against the Miami Heat. Something to watch for there, of course. He is $9,700. You got Booker at 91, and then we got a couple of guys here that I like, especially one notable player who is the cover of the playbook today. That is LaMelo Ball at $8,800. Around him, obviously, Maxey, Murray, Simons, but there's no reason for LaMelo Ball to be $8,800. He's been 95, 95, and 91. No reason for him to even have been 91. I know there's been a bit of a minutes cap per se. It's really been due to blowouts because they've been losing these games by big totals, but they are home favorites here on Friday. Rare sight seeing the Charlotte Hornets as a favorite in any game, but they got the San Antonio Spurs, sans Victor Wembanyama. Despite being in a limited state due to the blowouts there, 47, 49, and 49 fantasy points the last three games. LaMelo Ball is more of a 10-plus K player than a guy under 9K. He should be very chalky in this slate. We're not telling you anything you don't already know, but he is for sure going to be in a lot of my lineups.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes 60 plus here because there has the minutes limit is going to be no longer. We just haven't been able to see him extended because the blowouts, and now he gets this matchup against San Antonio. It's an amazing spot, amazing price. Maybe per dollar the best play of the slate. Maybe a reason why we don't need to get to Embiid or Jokic.
Agreed, 100%. We have again, we talked about it like early on. DraftKings is really good with their pricing. They're I don't know what they got, if they're just focusing on NFL playoffs or what they got going on here, but there's been some soft pricing that we've started to see over the few slates. Still not a ton of value. Maybe we'll get some value opening up because there are quite a few players already listed as questionable for this slate. We know the Pacers ruled out a lot of their guys for the front end of this back-to-back. We'll see if any of them are able to suit up and go here or not. But even in this like 7K range, like McCollum, really good spot for him against Phoenix here at $7,600. Anthony Simons at 78, liking him there. Hero, we know a couple of games ago, big performance from not so much last time out, but most of Miami kind of struggled in that one. They got blown out in that game. If there's no Trae Young, DeJounte Murray's at 75. Bradley Beal looks pretty good at 74. There's a lot of good guys here in the 7K range of the point guard position.
Yeah, they're all fine. I actually don't necessarily love this tier, truthfully, John.
Okay.
Not to say that I don't I wouldn't get anywhere here. McCollum, I think probably the most likely I'd get to. Also, it all depends on like that. My opinions could change if Trey sat because DeJounte obviously coming off the game winner
Sure.
and stuff. But really hard to like want to get to Beal. New Orleans is a really tough matchup. Hero is it's a really good spot. I guess I shouldn't really worry about a bad game against Toronto. Toronto looked really
Yeah,
good.
again, their whole team, Miami, just
Yeah,
didn't play well. But before that, he had 47, right?
yeah,
Better spot for him. He went for 45 earlier, 30 actual against Atlanta. Yeah, I get the Beal thing, but you yourself kind of pointed out, they're not really playing Alvarado anymore. And New Orleans has other guys to worry about on this team where they'll
sure.
probably put their defensive players on. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, notably, you would think would
Yeah,
draw the tougher coverages. Bradley Beal could have the easier defensive assignments in these spots, and we know the minutes are legit for him. Yeah, he's coming off of a down game comparatively to what he's had in previous matchups in the King spot, which should have been a smash play here. I'm not disagreeing. New Orleans is certainly a tough spot. This is a 2-point spread, decent game total for the board here, but and if we're looking in this tier, I'd probably prioritize McCollum over Beal, but I don't think I would shy away from Beal necessarily here. I don't know what to do with San Antonio because they're on the front end of the back-to-back. It's a great
yeah.
spot for all of San Antonio here against Charlotte, but like we've seen Vassell and Keldon and Trey Jones and all those guys be limited on front ends and pop plays 10 guys. So, great price point at $6,700. Don't know what to do with it. Boston guys are the Boston guys. You get to them, you get to them. D'Angelo Russell against Brooklyn. That's a pretty good one. Minutes been great.
Yep.
Production's been great. $6,200 here.
He's gonna be really popular because look at what we're getting. We're getting big minutes. We're getting big scoring, 29, 39 in 2 of the last 3. He's been really consistent, 30 plus fantasy points in 4 straight since returning. So um yeah, I think this is pretty much where I'm gonna settle at point guard and kind of like also why I was a little skeptical in the 7K tier because I knew D'Angelo Russell sat down here in the low sixes.
Yeah, no, and for sure, right? Like if you're kind of prioritizing your tiers, Russell definitely fits into a lot of builds. We'll see what happens with McConnell. He's got a 2010 double-double. Pretty entertaining Pacers Kings game here. Kings
Yep.
forcing a nice little comeback attempt here in this game. I think they're ultimately going to fall a bit short in their run here, but overall some pretty big performances. But McConnell goes for double-double. If there's no Nembhard, if there's no Halliburton, obviously we know what we can expect out of TJ McConnell here at $5,900. I can't go Dennis Smith Jr. at 56. Man only played 14 minutes against Portland after a whole bunch of minutes against prior. Brooklyn's rotation is just too unpredictable.
Yeah, no thanks on anything Brooklyn point guard related, truthfully, because I mean, of course, Dinwiddie back
Yeah,
up to
Dinwiddie
32
played all the
minutes last
minutes, had a
game.
big game. Exactly. How are
Yeah.
you looking at Markelle Fultz here? You got a lot of minutes there. Got 30 minutes in his second game back.
Yup. And now it gets a nice little revenge narrative here against Philadelphia. I like the Markel Fultz. Not just second game back though. Like
Sure.
we've seen the steady progression. The 23 to 30 is like a big jump. I expect him to be starting sooner rather than later, just knowing he was the starting point guard to start the
Yep.
year. Um, so yeah, I'm perfectly good getting to Markel Fultz 4,900. He's a kind of a high usage
Mhm.
player. Has the ball in his hands a lot. No Franz Wagner, obviously, will keep the ball in his
Yeah.
hands a lot more too.
Anybody other down here for value plays? You mentioned Jordan Hawkins now playing over Jose Alvarado. Hawkins, you and I were watching this game against Charlotte, just became a bucket again. Like this is just what he does. He can get hot shooting basketball. We've seen it all season long. 4K tournament play for you at all or no?
I mean, he played 21 minutes in the Dallas game. That's
Yep.
competitive, right? That's obviously a good the biggest I would say like sign that he's playing over guys like Jose Alvarado DMP'd that game. Hawkins played 21 because the other 2 games, well, even in the first Dallas game, but that Dallas game was without everybody where he scored
Yep.
51. 24 was, he was playing as the first guard off the bench as the backup. I'm okay with it. I like that he got the eligibility back, like he has the point guard eligibility again. I would be interested to see what the Portland Trailblazers do with their starting lineup. I don't know if you saw the other day they brought Scoot off the
Yeah.
bench and they started Malcolm Brogdon again. And then suddenly Brogdon played 30 minutes. If that's going to be the starting lineup again, then I'm going to play Malcolm Brogdon at 5,400.
I
Like
agree.
that's a pretty silly price. That's a
Starting
pretty
to
silly
see some
price.
trade rumors swirling around Malcolm Brogdon again too.
Yes.
So could be just sort of a
Yes.
showcasing. Hey, he's healthy. Here he is. Look what he
Yep.
can do. I would agree
Yep.
with you. If he's starting, in no shade and sharp still, like,
Yep.
yeah,
Mhm.
I'm with you. I think Malcolm Brogdon is too cheap down there at that price point. Can't really go Pritchard with everybody back. We don't really love the Miami guard situation. Would you give Beverly another look here? I mean, the minutes are still pretty solid.
So we know Covington's out. We know Melton is out. He should be fine. I mean, we said it. I messaged you the other day. I just don't like the price going up.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
like I'd probably stay away on this
Okay.
slate, truthfully.
Anybody else?
No, we can go
All
to
right. Shooting guard position then. Booker is here $9,100. Again, the production's the production. He had 16 and 11 in that Sacramento game. It really was an off night for a lot of, unless your name was Grayson Allen, you didn't really have a great game for Phoenix in a game they managed to come back and win. But a couple of 50 bombs games before that, we know what's in his bag here. Probably who draws the Herb defense? Is it going to be Durant? Is it going to be Devin Booker? And does Herb even play enough? I mean, he's only been playing, mid 20s.
They're this is a game they're gonna probably need him to play. I mean, Trey Murphy's a very good perimeter defender as well. So like I can see Herb kind of chasing everyone around. I'd assume it's a Devin Booker assignment, but we've also seen him guard bigger guys as well. I'll say he gets Booker, but it could be, dude, at times Herb could be guarding on one possession. He might be guarding Beal, Booker, and Durant,
Right.
where he's just chasing them around like
Right.
he's a psychopath.
Yeah. So you got Booker here. Jaylen Brown continues to be incredible. I understand the last game against San Antonio didn't have Derek White or Kristaps Porzingis, but I mean, he's been really good. And they're going to need him here against Denver. They are 6-point home favorites. Boston hasn't lost at home all season long, but they're going to need, JB to be at the top of his game here against, going up against Denver here.
I'm okay with it. I'm 8,100 for a guy who's been scoring 30 points a lot of times recently is perfectly fine with me. Not a priority for me, but like good eligibility. Boston's home. We know they haven't lost at home. Like there's a lot of good things going on.
Yep, for sure. Working our way down the list. I mean, is Ingram a spot you'd go back to? Obviously, had a monster night the other night, but had been slumping prior to that.
Tournaments. I mean, I don't think we're gonna see 28-point triple double out of Brandon Ingram again, but
Sure.
he is good peripherally. So yeah, I don't have a problem getting to Ingram. The next name I'm like looking at, John, Terry Rozier's been really
Sure.
good still. With even the LaMelo Ball, 40 and 44 fantasy points last two games, 25 and 26 actual, 11 made threes over
Yeah.
that span. I feel like this is maybe the one and only spot we'll ever be able to use Charlotte comfortably again.
I mean, honestly, I mentioned at the top of the show, there are very few instances where they've been favorites. Never mind, in a high game total here. So I'm with you. Yeah, Rozier's fine at 72. I think there's some interesting pricing on this Charlotte team. We'll talk about Miles Bridges as we work our way to power forward here because he's been very good for most of this year, but a little recent dip in production has got the price on him dropping. Almost $1,000 from where we've seen him at times this year. So other guys in this mid-tier range, I mean, Ben Mathurin obviously had a pretty big night tonight. We'll see what the Pacers lineup ends up looking like here. Second leg of a back-to-back, and Siakam now being factored in. Reeves is $6,100. Grayson Allen, I don't foresee another 9 of 14 from three, but he's had a couple of big blow-up games, this month alone. $5,900 for him there. Bogdan down here. What's your What's your shooting guard feelings in this low tier?
He went 9 of 14 already,
Yeah.
like 7 days ago.
That's what I'm saying.
The
He's done
exact
it this month.
exact style. That's funny. I mean, yeah, Indiana's obviously a little bit interesting. Matherin, like if Halliburton still is out and Siakam's in, I'd still have interest in Matherin. He's still a really good scorer. We saw that tonight, 25 actual. He played 37 minutes. Thank you, Rick Carlisle, for like giving Ben Matherin the time to show you that he can do that. So yeah, I'm okay getting there. Healed, he's fine. Boy, I love the Derek White price, but with everyone back, Reeves is okay. Grayson Allen's fine. Yeah, I mean, this whole tier is like full of guys that I'd be okay getting to.
For sure. Value tier. Anybody sticking out to you? I mean, there is Trey Murphy here at $200. We talked Brogdon, some guys with dual positional eligibility. Hawkins is down here as well. Eric Gordon played some minutes and knocked down some shots. Anybody for you at shooting guard?
Nothing really that stands out. Like I'm okay getting to Murphy if we find out that there's no minutes
Okay.
restriction.
Anybody else?
No.
Small forward then. Tatum, LeBron, your top two guys, dual positional eligibility, both under 10K. Pretty kind of appealing there. LeBron, of course, always capable to go off, as is JT in big games. The mid tier, though, you have Mikal Bridges at 77. You have Jimmy Butler at $7,600 here. Jeremy Grant now has small forward, power forward eligibility at $6,800. MPJ, Keldon, what's your feelings here?
This is such a letdown spot incoming for Jimmy. I can't wait. 7,600 against Atlanta, and he's going to defer the whole night. I can't freaking wait. I mean, it's a Jimmy Butler. Feels like a Jimmy Butler game. But again, it's Atlanta. I don't know. There's times where Jimmy Butler cares. There's times where he doesn't. He's been way better at home for what that's worth. He scores almost 6 points more per game at home, more rebounds. So, take that for at face value if you want to play Jimmy. Grant's good. Keldon's in a good spot without Wemby, but Keldon's been really kind of shit in the bed the last few games.
The back-to-back is worrisome for me.
Yeah. That's probably it.
Yeah,
for me,
there isn't a ton working
here.
Our way down. Like Sadiq Bey's 55. There is Herb Jones. Again, he's been playing kind of up and down minutes here, but like you mentioned, they could need him on the floor. He's 5K. You never know what to do with Lonnie Walker. Plays no minutes, plays some minutes. Too difficult to trust at 46. Chuma Okeke's here. Hachimura, Cody Martin. If Brandon Miller's out again, I mean, what's your thoughts at small forward?
Okeke did get another 30 minutes, huh? So if he's going to start, there's no reason to think he won't play somewhere around 26 to 30 minutes. Like that's just seemingly what he's going to play. So if Okeke's starting again, that's probably the spot to go.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody else?
Rui's down to 43. He played another 22 minutes, but it's if he can score the basketball, but I don't know if there's like any real ceiling.
Yeah, Cody Martin's getting more minutes again, 28, 23, 30, 36. Obviously, guys are coming back but being 4,300, if he's going to play almost 30 minutes, I think there's some looks there against.
Is that Miller? Well, that was Miller related, right?
Yeah, Brandon Miller was questionable to play in this game again, so something to at least kind of watch for there. Power forward, 80, dual positional eligibility, 10-2, way too cheap for what he's capable of doing. KD at $9,200. Again, I think Durant is kind of an interesting play here. Again, I know you weren't in love or seemingly not too in love with Phoenix here, but KD certainly can turn it on at $9,200. That's a good price for him.
I feel like getting to Anthony Davis every slate just seems profitable. I'm going to start doing that more. Because I mean, even in a night he goes 5 for 21, he triple doubles. He almost triple doubled again against Dallas. Maybe something where like we should be looking into. Look at all these assist numbers lately. I mean, he's had some big assist games pretty consistently of late. And he only played 33 minutes in the game. That for a guy who plays almost more minutes than anyone in the NBA at this point. So crazy that we're sitting here saying that about Anthony Davis, but we are. So I'm a little indifferent about the big three in Phoenix right now. I mean, 9,200 is a great price, but this is like the exact Jason Tatum scenario from like
Sure.
a month ago, right? Like where we understand Kevin Durant's been great. I mean, he was one of the big reasons they won that game against Phoenix, but still only had 41 fantasy points.
Right. Siakam expect to make his debut there. $8,100 could be pretty good here against Portland. Better team, faster pace. If Halliburton's there, got to feed him the basketball. Definitely liking Siakam at 81. Should he be there? Zion 75 again, give or take if you want there. And then I mentioned Bridges again, $7,100. I get it. 27, 31, 29, not spectacular. Did take 20 shots, did take 17 shots here, just didn't make them. They've been getting blown out. Expected to be a competitive game. He was giving us 40 plus pretty consistently, and you only need 35 for 5x here. I think this is a pretty good price for him.
I would say the only thing is LaMelo coming back being such like kind of just good everywhere, like rebounding, passing. That's like eating into him. And then Nick Richards, I talked to you about it before, like a little while ago. He's had like 18 rebound opportunities per game, which is like top 10 in the league. And we've seen both those kind of like assists and rebounds not be as consistent maybe as they were earlier in the year. Also, no blocks in 4 straight games. He has had a steal and stuff.
Yeah, Richard is questionable to play in this one, so that's something to watch.
Ooh, okay. That is definitely something to watch. That could obviously help him. So, yeah, I mean, I'm okay with Bridges. I mean, the spot is fantastic. This tier is pretty good. Zion, for no reason, just his price is going down.
Random 9 assists.
Random 9 assists. Yeah, I mean, 27 minutes. I mean, Ingram and Zion had 19 assists combined in that game. Go figure, right? Like that. How many times are we ever going to see that again? Jalen Johnson, 7,100. I mean, he hasn't been as consistent as he was upon like returning from injury, but we know he has a massive ceiling. So all these guys are all in play here.
In the mid tier, as we were kind of work our way down, again, I mentioned Sadiq Bey earlier. Jalen Smith had a pretty big night. Siakam being available probably cuts into him there. Sohan's at 52, but front leg of back to back. Washington would be pretty fun if Nick Richards gets ruled out at $5,100 there. Anybody else down here for you?
I kind of like the Sohan without Wemby. He's been good without Wemby this year. Front end of a back to back that they stayed competitive in as well. 12-28. He had 30 fantasy points, 16, 7, and 3, played 31 minutes on the front end. So if they can keep this game competitive, we know how bad they are on the road, and now no Wemby, so obviously that's an issue. But yeah, I could get to some Jeremy Sohan at 52. I wish he wasn't just power forward.
Sure.
I'll tell you that kind of sucks because he used to be point guard, small forward. Like that seemed like the golden days. But yeah, I'd be okay getting there.
Chimezie Metu single-handedly brought back Phoenix in that game in 10 minutes. Obviously the minutes are disappointing. Just wanted to highlight that your guy went out there and did some things. Okonkwo, 27 minutes against Orlando, $4,300. I mean, if he's gonna get, we were playing him when he was in 20 minutes. I mean, if he's gonna play, it's gonna be 4,300.
That seems just silly. I'm skeptical Capella's going to hang with Bam in this. Sure. This feels like an Ngannou matchup only because Bam is so like he's just moved so much, and Capella just can't. Capella just can't move. Like he just can't move. He has to play drop defense, and like you can't drop against Bam pick and rolls and stuff. Yeah, he was good again.
And then Walker was good. Walker was good on Thursday. Isaiah Jackson left that game with an injury. They were out Nesmith. Again, I know Siakam is going to expected to play here, but could very well see Walker start working his way more into the rotation if guys are going to be ruled out of the lineup. So giving him a look, and then Vanderbilt's down here, did play 26 minutes against Dallas.
He did.
Starting to play a little bit more, so you can give him a look at 35 for sure.
Well, dude, they're playing the guys that got them to the Western Conference Finals last year, right? Like they start Reeves. Right? Well, I mean, they just blew Dallas out, right? With the D'Lo, Reeves, LeBron, Davis core, and now they're giving Vanderbilt run. That was post trade, right? Post that Russell Vanderbilt trade where they got all these guys and gave them time. They're like, oh wait, this works. We should do this more. Weird how that's happening.
All that was just to talk about Joel Embiid. Against the other MVP candidate and Nikola Jokic.
Dude, he
went for 41, 7, and 10 in 39 minutes, 68 fantasy points here. Believe it or not, this is only a 5-point spread in Orlando. If we're, I know Magic are good, but if that's the case, then we're gonna get 38 minutes for Joel Embiid here against Goga Bitadze and Wendell Carter Jr. Right, like,
oh boy,
70 fantasy points probably on the way for Joel Embiid here, and it's nothing to take away from what Nikola Jokic did. He had 25 and 19 in that game against JoJo.
Right.
He scored 10, 12 less fantasy points. So I can't I can't play 11-3 Joker when Embiid is 11-5 right now. Like,
agreed. Fully agree.
And then Anthony Davis is mostly outscoring Nikola Jokic for $1,000 cheaper. So, you know, back in the day, I was an anti-Joker guy.
Jokic, you sure were.
I've obviously come around a bit. He's done some things to deserve credit.
Just a couple, right? Just a couple accolades.
Just a few things deserve the credit here. But I'm not playing him at his price point. He needs to either come down to Davis's price point, or B needs to be way more expensive for him to be a viable play. And then he got Bam under 9K at 87 against Atlanta. That feels pretty good. I know Butler's back, but it's a good spot for him. Nurkic should be out there, I would assume, matching up with the Pelicans. Turner's got Portland. Ayton should be back on the other side of that matchup. The ice is melted. They got him some rock salt to get him out of his driveway.
Reportedly.
We were crushing Zach Collins, but I don't know what to expect from Zach Collins coming back from an injury on a front leg of a back-to-back. Feels like he'd play 12 minutes. So, that's tough to trust. So outside of the top guys, like, I don't know. There wasn't a ton for me at center. You could throw some darts at Larry Nance. Talk to Gonku already. I don't know. I didn't really care for much.
So I guess, like, the one thing I'd say, I largely agree, is the reason why we saw Jeremy Grant with small forward. They started Jeremy Grant at small forward the other day. They started Jabari Walker at power forward. He wasn't very good, but he has had some really good games. I know 5,500's very expensive, but 30, 29, 32 minutes the last 3 games, that's worth something. He's really active on the offensive glass, really active on the glass in general. Obviously, Ayton's back, so that could cut into some time. If Nick Richards plays, dude, 5,200 is cheap. That's a really cheap number for Nick Richards if he plays.
And it's a great spot for him, and you've been on him just from the rebounding standard, but we know that the minutes have certainly been there in competitive games. He can be a good fantasy point per minute guy. So I'd agree with you. If he's in, and I can go Nick Richards here. And
then I know you said there was. I'm just gonna spitball a little bit more Orlando centers. I mean, I know it's Embiid. We've seen, like, you can score on, like, Embiid's a very good defensive player. He also doesn't always guard opposing centers. We saw it. He didn't guard Jokic the entire game. He did not guard Jokic because he patrols. All right, he, like, patrols the paint. So there could be situations where he's guarding, like, Chuma Okeke in this game. Wendell Carter, 24 minutes is really good to see. He had 34 fantasy points in 24 minutes. He's $4,500. I'm just saying. Like, I'm not, like, prioritizing Wendell Carter against Joel Embiid. I'm also saying Wendell Carter's not a $4,500 player.
No, I wish he was getting more minutes. Like, what happened to the Wendell Carter from last year, or even the Wendell Carter that started this year? Like, why? Falling out of
they're trending. Well, it's the knee, but they're trending. Like, 24 minutes in that Atlanta game is really good. That's a very good sign.
Okay, yeah, I can get behind that. Anybody else?
RIP to John Isaac minutes.
Yeah. Well, lasted one game.
That was fun while lasted one game.
All right, let's see. Let's build a lineup here. I don't think I can even build a LaMelo Ball, Joel Embiid lineup. I mean, it's.
So I think you can build a Davis LaMelo Ball lineup.
What do we got? Davis and Ball? What's your next move?
I mean, that's as far as I got.
Okay.
But
I was gonna say,
I think
where was your next play? You don't got one.
I think you
I'll go
can.
Jordan Hawkins at 4K. Chumo Keki would have to
Brogdon?
be in this one.
Brogdon 54.
Brogdon.
If he's, I mean,
Well, we'll see. He
they
started last
won,
time.
right?
We'll assume he starts. That's fine.
And they won, right? And they get a back-to-back against Indiana.
Yep, that's fine.
It's a pretty good spot.
5,800 power forward and utility.
Ngannou?
Yeah, that was right. That was a broken price tag, and he's power forward eligible too.
And if you needed to, like Davis to forward or util, and you could play Nick Richards at center too.
And I'm fine going there. That's fine. Richards and go Davis to forward.
Yeah, you could put Davis forward.
$7,900 utility play. Simons, McCollum.
Yeah, either one. Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy works. There's an example lineup for y'all. LaMelo Ball, Jordan Hawkins, Chuma Keki, Onyeka Okongwu, Nick Richards, Malcolm Brogdon, Anthony Davis, Jimmy Butler. $300 left over. Of course, this is the first look. We'll have the playbook out for everybody, and we will be back live at 5 o'clock Eastern time to give you all the latest news and updates for this 7-game main slate. If you have any questions, get us in the Discord. Till then, we'll see y'all later.